Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. At least I didn't push the wrong button today. But that doesn't mean I won't before we're finished. Got a lot of nice compliments on the video yesterday, on the vlog yesterday. Many of them were about the song. I did finish the song, and I played it for the band last night because we had a band practice. That's the first band practice we've had forever. We're planning to play this Saturday evening at the Highgate Baptist Church in Highgate, Missouri, which is kind of northeast of St. James. If you're in the area and would like to attend a gospel show at that church, it's open to the public for Saturday evening. Come if you can. It's also an ice cream social, so, there's that too. Even if you don't like the music, you surely got to like the ice cream. So I played the song for the band last night. I did tweak it a lot. I added a word here, changed a word there, that kind of thing. I didn't change it tremendously, but I changed a number of things, and it seemed to flow really well. When I finished the song in the band practice, Gary says, "Man, we need to work that up." So that was nice. That's at least a positive comment. And then I guess because I was brave enough to play my song, Beverly pulled out one she wrote, and she's never written a song before. This is the first time, and it was very good. It was really very good. So the next time we have the band here, I'm sure we'll play that one for you too. Tomorrow evening, I'll play you the revised version of my song. I tried to get Gary to come along tomorrow evening, but he's got other plans. He couldn't make it, so it'll probably just be me. In other comments, at the risk of getting off on another rant here, on the video, there was comments that were kind of siding with the tire companies. Well, of course you can't patch the sidewalls. That's dangerous. It'll cause a problem. Well, why do you think that is? Got any ideas? A wild guess why that's dangerous? Just take a really wild guess why it's dangerous to patch a sidewall. Do you know anything about air pressure at all? Anything about it? Well, air pressure is the same all the way around. Okay, so why can you patch the tread, but you can't patch the sidewall? Oh, it's a nature thing. It's unnatural to patch a sidewall. No, it's because they've cheaped out and they've now made the sidewall so darn thin, they're either one tread or two treads thick. That's all they are. That's all. That's the only reason you can't patch a sidewall. Believe what you want. I mean, just think about it. The tread is where all the work happens. That's where the rubber meets the road. But you can patch that. You can't patch the sidewall. Don't touch the sidewall. It's because they've cheaped out. And you can barely patch the dang tread anymore. They've cheaped out on that so much, they're down to 4 layers. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, completely ridiculous. It's criminal, in fact, in my opinion. It's unsafe. It's not right. And we just put up with it and say, well, of course, we're going to defend the tire companies. Sorry, but I don't defend them. It's pure greed. 100% pure greed. And they're charging you more for it. Harley Davidson's another example. They have absolutely crapped in their own bed. I just saw a documentary or a little program on Harley Davidson. Now, I know that Trump's been on a warpath on them too, so that's got nothing to do with what I'm about to say. I've heard his warpath, but this, and I'm just going by what these people were saying. I don't know that it's 100% true. I could be wrong. I'm just passing on what they said. You can go out there and Google it and see what you think. But Harley Davidson has started adding all these fees and everything onto their motorcycles. Like there's an $800 preparation fee. And they said, you know what that involves? It involves taking the plastic off. $800. It takes them maybe 15 minutes. There's a $2,000 delivery fee. even though it's delivered with 20 other motorcycles on the same truck. I mean, it's gotten ridiculous. If you don't think it's greed, I don't know how to help you. And you can make excuses for them and say that there's a reason they have to do that. The reason is greed. I know the reason. It's simple as black and plain as the nose on my face. Okay, moving on. It's the truth. It's so sad, and we just keep putting up with it, and we keep making excuses for it. And one person even went so far, and this one's really just, it's when you make these kinds of comments, I'm sorry, but you are beyond help. There's not a person on this planet that can help you. The comment was, well, you voted for Trump. No wonder these sidewalls are so thin. And you really think Trump has anything to do with that? I mean, seriously, you have become an extremist to the extreme end of being an extremist. This greed thing, at least in the United States, started in the roughly 70s and 80s. Don't think it hasn't always been there. I get that. It's always been there, but it got exponentially worse in the 70s, 80s, and it's just continued to get worse since then. There's been a whole lot of presidents since then, Republican and Democrat, and not too many of them have done anything about it, period. So blame it on Trump if you want, but also at the same time, learn and understand that you have become an extremist. There you go. Now I said it. If I lose viewers over it, it doesn't bother me. I'm just saying it like it really is, and this is not a political statement. You understand that. If you're not an extremist, you understand there's nothing political about what I just said. It's just simply greed. That's all it is. All right, moving on. I tried to mail a package. Here's another example of greed. It really is. I tried to mail this little simple package. See how thin it is? Look how thin that is. It's barely thicker than a regular envelope. It weighs virtually nothing. It's not even 2 ounces, including the contents. There's 2 little paper labels that I was going to send. And I was going to send this little thing here, and this doesn't even weigh an ounce. It's light. It's little thin, less than an 1/8 thick plywood. Okay? I had this in here. The person at the post office says, oh, we can probably just send this as a letter because it's so thin. And he goes, can you bend it? And I said, no, it's got stiff thing in there. You can't bend it. Oh, well, then we have to ship it as a package. Now, this is going to Brazil. This little thing here, this little thin thing here, it was going to be $65 to ship that to Brazil. I elected to not ship it. So there you go. See, actually the person from Brazil, all they really wanted was my 2 little labels. I thought I would just do them one better, send this little thing in there with it, and just be nice and do that. But I'm not $65 nice. It's pitiful. It's just gotten ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that words can't explain it anymore. It's just, we're beyond help, people. We're beyond help, and we just put up with it and say, oh, it's okay. We make excuses for them. We find reasons why it's right, even when it's black and white, 100% wrong. Take a look at this. So here's the current status of the pond dam. You can see it's as dry as it can be. There's not going to be any more leaking through there. I'm 100% sure, really. And the moss situation, even after spending lots of time, I don't know if you can see the fish right there. There's a fairly large bluegill right there. Spending just lots of time in this area, you can see that it did no good at all. We still haven't put the chemical in here yet, I don't think. The problem with putting a chemical in here, I don't know what's caused all this. Look at this, there's all this mud right here. I wonder, Could we have a muskrat coming in and out right here or something? Or was that from the ducks? Or that looks weird. The problem with putting the chemical in is it can kill all of this stuff at once, and that somehow or another will deprive the pond of oxygen and kill the fish. So it's, yeah, I don't know just what to do, but you can't rake this stuff out of there. It's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this stuff. Wouldn't you know? Well, let's take a look. The old obligatory water wheel. Hopefully it's still going today. It's been really working flawlessly forever. But you know, the moment you come around here with a camera, this could be the moment you have a problem. The spring has slowed way down, but it's still running. Let's see here. And it seems to be running just fine. The water is. There's the water wheel. Doing real well. You know, I get it about perpetual motion. I understand it. I know that's not possible. But that's about as close to perpetual motion as you'll ever see or get right there. That thing hasn't stopped in a year and a half or however long it's been there. It just keeps going. Pretty cool. Got a little bit of a leak under there still. I got to fix that. Ain't that big a deal, but it just needs to be fixed. I need to get back up on the roof. It's been so hot lately. This is not the time to do it. There's a chance that maybe in the early morning I'll get out here and start. But the problem is we have people staying in the rental retreat. There's a car up there right now, in fact. You know, you hate to get out here and start making noise real early in the morning. I'm a morning person. I'd get out here at 6 a.m., but that may not go over real good with the guests. Boy, you can sure see a lot of that moss again from up here. It is thick everywhere. That is not good. I just don't know what to do about it. I've never seen anything like this stuff. Let's see if any fish come up and feed on this stuff. There's a few feeding on it. They're not just going crazy about it though. Yeah, they're starting to. There's a big old catfish. I think that's what it is. They're not going crazy on it. I'm surprised. They're eating it a little bit. Well, I'll be darned. There's a lot of fish out there. I can see a ton of them. I don't know if you can see them on video or not, but they're everywhere. There, they're starting to hit the surface. A little bit of bigger catfish hit. That's bizarre. I would have thought they'd have just been churning the water over. Sue may have fed them though. That may be what it is. She might have just fed them recently. You never know. There's some pretty good sized catfish in there now. Look, it's amazing how fast those catfish have grown. Well, I'm not going to throw any more out there since they don't seem to be just tearing it up. That's crazy. They are hitting it. I mean, I see a lot of fish out there, but they don't seem to be hitting the surface very much. Maybe the food is sinking and they're eating and under the water. But there sure is a lot of fish out there. There's a giant catfish over there. When I say giant, I mean he's 2-footer. Looks like it. Well, I was hoping for more, you know, pretty much like always. It is what it is. Yeah, and just like my typical luck, Sue had fed them just moments before I did. So I didn't know she had been out there feeding them, and so they were already full, I guess, and they weren't really excited about it. So that's what that was. The other thing is that I didn't know you couldn't see them on camera, but man, you could really see the fish out there with, just seeing through the water, but the camera for some reason didn't let you see it like that. But anyway, there was a bunch of fish out there. They just weren't real excited about eating this stuff. I guess they had already had their fill. Let's go ahead and go to the, well, no, let me first tell you that this afternoon, even though as bad as I hate it, I've got to go put all those new tires on that trailer now and get the trailer straightened out. So I got to do that this afternoon. And then Sue wants me to fix that stabilizer bar that was on the tractor, even though it doesn't stay on for whatever reason. I don't know how she gets that thing to come off and to bend like she does. It makes no sense to me. I've driven them for days on end and never had that ever happen through the thickest, roughest terrain brush you could imagine. I've never had one come off, and she has it come off every single time she drives the darn thing. I don't get it. Makes no sense to me. But she wants it back on there because it sways too much. So what I think I'm going to do is put it on there instead of using the typical. I can't think of the name for those pins, but they got that spring clip pin, Instead of using that, I think I'm going to put some kind of heavy-duty bolt on it with nuts and lock nuts and stuff, and just where it can't come off, and see what happens. See what gives, because something's got to give. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. And then, if that wasn't enough, then she hits me up with, every trail is blocked with trees. All the trees. Are you kidding me? And she was describing all the different trails, and every one of them apparently is blocked with trees. Now, I don't even know why. I can't even imagine why they're all blocked with trees, but apparently they all are. So, guess who gets to fix that? I don't have anything to do. I don't even know why. I just stay bored all the time. I'm just bored all the time. We had guests a couple days ago were here, and they had two little boys, and Sue had given them the paddle boards. Well, they were between a kayak and a paddle board is really what it amounts to. It's like a miniature kayak, really. Anyway, the two boys were out on the pond in those kayaks, and you could tell they were just having a ball. I mean, they had life jackets on and the whole bit, and their parents are there watching them, So, but they were you can tell they were just loving life. And I walked up to them and I said, "Oh, boys, I'm so sorry you're not having any fun here. I wish you could have some fun here." They go, "We're having fun. We're having fun." But you could tell they were just loving life. I wish I could join them. All right, let's go to the comments here. B.H. Ringer was the first one in there from Nova Scotia, Canada. And Joe Nigan again, and there's David Tharp, and he says, people are held captive by their cell phones. That's why, no, he didn't say cell phones. I read ahead on that one. They're captive by their phones. That's why they're called cell phones. See, David, I can't help you with your jokes, buddy. I just mess them up for you. Ronald Todd, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks of New Jersey. And let's see, Dottie's praying for us. Thank you so much, Dottie. David Tharp, I did my personal best at the 100-meter sprint this morning, 13 meters. Wow, not bad. Only 87 more to go, and you'll be right there. Let's see. Moving on down. Gino Hitch says, "Hi, Jerry and friends. Another beautiful day here in Monroe, Ohio. Still working on my bathroom. Hope things are going well with you and the farm. Did you get the tire back on the tractor?" Yeah, the tire's on the tractor. That one's fine, but now the front tire's going low. It's got a slow leak. So guess who's going to get to fix that in a day or two? Yeah. It's never ending. Rod Wintler, Jerry, I noticed online that Vivor makes a number of hydraulic rolling lift carts. I thought of you and all the things you have to lift up to the bench. Would you want to review one? Yeah. Well, I have thought about getting one of those, but I don't really feel like I need one, and honestly, it's difficult. The shop's not very big, and I've got that real thick rubber mat in front of my workbench, so you'd have to get it up over that inch thick rubber. And I don't know. I've thought about it, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on one of those yet. David Thorpe, after we went live, says, just painted my ceiling. I don't know if it's the best ceiling in the world, but it's certainly up there. Yeah, that's one of those thought-provoking ones again. There I go. And now I got to think about that all afternoon. Ronald Todd, why don't you film the band practice? I think it would be interesting. Yeah, it would. I'm sure it would. Maybe we will down the road. It's doggone it, scrolled on me so far. That was the first one we've had in a very long time, trust me. And we just did that, and I'm not even sure why we did it, to be honest with you. but apparently, for some reason, they felt like we needed a practice, so we had a practice. And I'm not saying we don't. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that all of a sudden we need one. We hadn't need one up till now for whatever reason. But anyway, so that'll be this coming Saturday evening, 6 o'clock at the Highgate Baptist Church in Highgate, Missouri, northeast of St. James. Be there or be square if you can. And if nothing else, you'll at least get ice cream. Bill Webb says, good afternoon. Let's see. Dottie says, oh boy, we almost got a rant. I think you got a couple. I am frustrated with all this stuff. It's just aggravating. It's not like it got cheaper. The materials got a lot cheaper. The materials are way less material, but they've gotten way more expensive too. Scott Roberts, John Dobrnick, are you trying to start a family feud? Uh-oh. I don't know what that one's about. Let's see. Hugh O'Connor, new song could possibly do with a verse where someone else looks in the mirror and sees the person from a different perspective. Yeah, there you go. That is a possibility. Bad Boy V65. Jerry, you are totally correct on the political extremists, and I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's sad that you could take something like a tire problem, an agreed issue with these companies, and turn it into it's a president problem. Oh, sorry, but it's been a lot of presidents. I'm not saying it isn't a president problem. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not a specific president problem. It's a country problem, and none of the presidents have taken care of it. Let's see. Enzo Palumbo, isn't greed the American way? Well, I guess I'd have to say you're probably right to some degree, but I don't think it's just necessarily just American way anymore. I think it's pretty much worldwide. All the executives and all the big corporations are driving their Lamborghinis and out on their yachts and robbing everybody of their of their pensions. It's just pure greed. It's all it is. Pure greed. Ronald Todd, I think the greed rant goes back to the lack of common sense. Well, there's a whole lot of it to be said for that too. Whatever happened to a half gallon of ice cream? Well, it's that way on everything. Just like I showed in a short little video on one of the vlogs a couple of months ago when I opened up the can of hot chocolate mix, and it's a great big can, and it's only halfway full. They just do that to make you think you're getting something. It's just a marketing ploy. And then you just got that much additional packaging that goes in the dump that didn't need to be there. It's just pure greed. That's all it is. They can charge you more for it because it looks like you're getting more. Michael 2X, that Waterwheel noise should be added to the sleep sounds on Amazon Music. Well, I don't disagree with that one either. Scott Roberts, Jerry, could you make some kind of dragnet or rake? And well, you know what, Scott? Under normal conditions, I would totally agree and say absolutely you should be able to do that. With the normal slimy type of moss that you see in ponds, you could do that. This stuff's different. It ain't slimy. It's like little tiny, I don't even know what it feels like. It's like string. It's like little tiny strings, and they don't stick to nothing. And you can pull your rake right through them, for one thing. I mean, you can drag in a big bunch of it, and for an hour there, right in that one spot right there where I showed you, I spent an hour dragging tons of it out of there, filled, and I packed it into the Bobcat bucket. I mean, it was packed solid full. That's the same spot I dug it out of. You can't even tell I did anything. And I know Sue has spent 3 or 4 hours out there raking the stuff out. You can't even tell that it's been touched. It's the strangest stuff I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this stuff. It's completely different than anything else. It doesn't really stick to your rake even. I mean, you can, because of those fine teeth I have on that rake, it's about a 3-foot wide rake, and it's got tons of fine teeth on it. It'll rake in quite a bit of it. Takes you a while to do it. But apparently a lot of it's just not getting caught up in the rake either. And it just doesn't, I don't know. It must multiply super fast too. I don't know how it does what it does. Mike Bennett, he's talking to Dottie. Let's see. Gary Hayes says, Jerry is just telling it like it is, and I agree with him big time. Well, yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not really taking a side politically at all. I mean, it's got nothing to do with politics, in my opinion. It's just plain old, pure, everyday, complete, 100% greed. That's all it really boils down to. Garland Edmondson, would goldfish help your pond? Well, I don't think so. We got lots of fish in there, and we got lots of grass carp in there. We got like 6 or 8 grass carp in there. And the grass carp had always kept the moss way down. This stuff's different. In fact, it's been 10 years ago now, but there was a time when you could actually see, and there was only 3 really big grass carp in there at that time. And you could actually see a graze line around the edge of the pond. They had cleaned out all the grass in the pond so well that they were eating the grass off the ground, and you could actually see where the fish, and if you snuck up there, you'd see them big old carp half with their head out of the water eating the grass. That's how efficient they were. What happened? I don't get it. This stuff, they don't like this stuff apparently. Garland Edmondson, those are called linchpins. Yeah, that's one name for them for sure. Most people call him hitch pins. Yeah, I've heard them called all kinds of things. I can't even think. It seems like there's something else that I've heard them called too, but regardless, you know what I'm talking about. It's a spring clip type pin, and I've never had any. I'm not kidding you when I say this. I know it probably sounds silly to some people, but in all the years I've ever done this, I might have lost one, maybe. I'm not even sure I've ever lost one of those spring clips. I couldn't even count the dozens of them she's lost. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't even make sense. Does not make sense to me. It doesn't compute. I can't figure out what's happening, why it happens. It doesn't make sense. David Tharp, here's something interesting. When you say the word touch, your lips do not touch, but when you say separate, they do. Well, you just proved it on video. I felt it and saw it. I'm so glad you keep us up to date on all this technical know-how stuff there. Dowdy says, what has happened to your band's other guitar player? Oh, you mean Bill? Well, he's really not our band. He never has been in the band. We just invited him. You know, he plays with us a lot. And he's been crazy busy lately. Bo Horn, Newton Horn says, hey, Jerry and friends. Jerry planned to be up your way August 27th, staying at Elam? Every park. Hope to visit while there. Okay, well, hope you do. Come stay at our retreat if you want. Well, I mean, I know you have a camper. Don't really have full hookups. We got electric. We could let you hook up with electric at least. And we could probably get you fresh water. But I don't have a sewer. Let's see. G&P Old Marine Shop. Hey, Jerry, I watch Bama Bass on YouTube. He built a 5-acre pond. He put tilapia in the pond to eat all the algae and growth. Drawback is they don't survive winters. Yeah, well, like I said, our grass carp were doing an excellent job. In fact, they've done the same thing in the back pond. They've cleaned it up really good. This stuff, they don't like this stuff. And I doubt tilapia would like it either. And I don't really want I want natural fish. I don't really want like things like goldfish and tilapia and all that kind of stuff in there. That's just me. I just prefer to have regular natural fish, if you will. Or in native fish to Missouri or whatever. Lindenbaum, it's something how they blame a president who's been in office a little over 7 months. Sorry, I don't like to get political either. Yeah, but again, I when you make a comment like that of any, I don't care what the comment's about, you've become a political extremist, and you don't even realize how extreme you are once you start making those kinds of comments. You have lost it, and there's nobody on this earth that can help you except you. You have to fix that yourself. David Rivel, Jerry, best regards from the Holy Land of Israel. Always is very enjoyable to hear your sincere comments and opinions. Shalom. Well, thanks, David. And I'm glad you're here. David Thorpe. I said I bought a horse yesterday. Friend, what are you going to do with it? Me, I'm going to race it. Friend, my money's on the horse. Mine too. I was surprised that nobody commented on the horse thing that I told you about, that the stallion got down, turned upside down, and was up against the wall. That boy, he was in a world of hurt. Anyway, Bill Mumbo, it's called shrinkflation, Jerry. Less is less. Boy, isn't that the truth? But there's more money in it. Hugh O'Connor, the PR tire rating simply indicates the load and PSI rating. As you say, it doesn't indicate durability of the tire, if it ever did. Well, they didn't used to use PR. They used to say ply. You have a 6-ply tire. And then when you read on the tire, it said 6 plies on the tread and maybe 4 plies on the sidewall. Usually the sidewall was a couple of plies less than the tread. So if you had a 10-ply tread, you'd probably have maybe a 6-ply sidewall or something like that. That's not the way it is anymore. You're lucky if you get 1 ply. I'm surprised they don't even just make it clear and just put a little plastic floaty balloon on the side of it now is what I'm surprised. It's pitiful, just flat pitiful. I mean, if you know anything about trailers, and guess what? I do know something about trailers. Especially on a big long trailer like that, when you make a sharp turn, it's a pivot point. The front 2 tires are going to pivot. But guess what the back 2 tires have to do? They have to slide. They have to slide one way or the other. Well, guess what happens when they slide? They get rolled over on their sidewall. It's a hole. Don't worry about it, though. It's got a full 1 ply thick. Don't worry about that. It's ridiculous. It's sickening ridiculous. Let's see. There has, Dottie says there has got to be a fish that eats that stuff in your pond. I had to go get Jaws, I think. They have to have something to get gone without killing your fish. Yeah, I am stumped on it. I'm seriously stumped on it because it's not a little bit of it. As you could see in the video, it's thick down to the ground, to the mud. It's all the way to the floor of the pond, up to the surface. It's the thickest stuff you've ever seen. And like I said, you can pull it out and you think, well, I'm making progress. I'm pulling this out. When you get done, you can't tell you did anything. I've never seen anything like it. When I say that, I mean it sincerely. It's totally different than any kind of stuff I've ever seen. I mean, that old slimy green moss, you can pull that stuff out and throw it on the bank and it's gone. This ain't so much like that. Steve Dickinson, Jerry, can you still buy bias ply tires? They should use the old bias. Yeah, I like the old bias ply tires. I really do. And I think there's a chance you can still get them somewhere here and there. I should have just taken time and done the tire thing myself instead of Sue went and bought them. It's not her fault. I mean, when she goes, I told her, I said, try to find something that's got at least 8 plies on the tread. At least that. Okay, so she comes back. She thought she did good. She's got 14 ply. But when you read it, it says it's 5 ply on the tread, 1 ply on the sidewall, which is even less than the tires that were on it to begin with. It just makes me ill. But they're 14 ply rated because we say they're good. They're 14 plies worth. That's what they are. They're rated good. Whether they're made out of crap or not doesn't make any difference. They're rated good. We rate them really good. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. Brad Tomatic, how about a water wheel powered fountain in the pond for aeration? Well, I do plan to do a fountain in there once I get caught up to where I can get to doing something like that. I really do want to do that. Yeah, and Brad said in the very next comment is, I'm sure your to-do list needs some more items. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. If I just want to get the water wheel house behind me, I can't seem to get there because there's so much other crud. Simon says, I think the moss weed in the pond really spoils the look of it. Yeah, I do too. I think you should contact experts. We've talked to the conservation. We've talked to, Sue called somebody in the agriculture or something, and she talked to people, and their biggest thing is, if you kill it, you're going to kill all your fish because it's going to deprive your pond of oxygen. You need to rake it out first and then put the chemical in there. Well, come here and show me how. Come here and show me how to rake that out of there. Because I've tried, and I can't even explain how little effect it seems to have when you're trying to rake that out of there. The old kind of moss, not a problem. You can rake it out of there, no problem. Not this stuff. I don't get it. Bo says, spell check got me. Should have said Elam RV Park. Newburgh. Oh, I don't know where that is. Oh, well, maybe I do. Maybe that's over there. Well, no, I don't know where that is. But heck, if you want to, stay here, Bo. You don't have to pay for an RV park. I mean, you won't have a sewer hookup, but if you can do without that, you could stay here a night or two if you want. Won't cost you nothing. Diane Craver, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. Well, but if another guy was in, we'd have a different derangement syndrome. You know what I'm saying? It's just become a dividing line in this dang country, and we have gone to extremes. We're nowhere anywhere near the middle anymore. We're at both ends, and that ain't good. I voted for Trump. I'll admit I voted for him. Do I think every single thing he ever did in his life was perfect? No, I don't. I wish he could quit bragging on himself. I wish he could do that a lot. There's a lot of things I don't like about Trump, but overall, I think he was the right choice at the time. You only got two choices. So there you go. That's all I can say about it. I'm not necessarily a fanboy of Trump. I like him a lot better than the alternative that we had at the time. That's all I'll say. And that's not an extreme comment, you understand. If you think it is, then if you think that, then you are an extremist. You've lost it. You can't be helped anymore. You have to help yourself. Let's see. Dottie's asking, I think I missed one. Hugh O'Connor says, pond possibly due to lack of aeration, solar-powered fountain. I don't think it's got anything to do with that. It's some sort of an invasive thing, and we tried to find out how it got there, and they said that, it can come in on a bird. It can come in, it wouldn't even surprise me if it didn't come in on those dang minnows we put in there. But the weird thing is the back pond doesn't have it, so it doesn't seem like it would have been the minnows or the water that came with those minnows, because it could easily be that. When I say minnows, I meant all the fish we put in there. So I don't know how it got here, but it's some kind of an invasive thing. It's not, it wouldn't surprise me if it's not a planned invasive thing. To me, that's the next thing that's going to be happening, and not that it hasn't already happened. It's like where you actually plant invasive things in different countries to screw them up. It wouldn't surprise me at all, like eco-terrorism type thing. It would not surprise me at least a little bit that that's what that is. Let's see. Dottie says, how is Champ doing? Well, I don't honestly know. I didn't follow up, but he seemed to be fine after I got him up. But it's a darn good thing we got him up, because if he'd have spent all night there like that, horses can't take that. They can't take laying upside down for that many hours. He was basically upside down. He wasn't like on his side. He was upside down. And he just couldn't get any momentum to go the other way, to get back over. He was slightly propped against the wall, so therefore they just don't have the ability to fix that. That's not the only horse I've rescued like that. Sue's horse, Lightning, she got down. I was in the shop working. This has been, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I might even be longer than that. She's an old horse. I was in the shop working, and I had the door open, and I heard, it sounded like somebody was banging on like a metal drum or something, like just somebody just taking a hammer and just smacking it, and just all kinds of racket. I'm like, what in the heck is that? So I go outside the shop, and I could tell it was coming from the barn way out there in the field, And I thought, why would that be making that noise out there? So I thought, I better check this out, because that don't sound good, So sure enough, I get out there, and Lightning was upside down in the water trough. She'd never got out of there. In fact, she'd been in there a long time, because it took her 2 or 3 days to get over it. She couldn't walk straight. She was stiff and messed up. She was messed up big time. And if she hadn't made those noises, I wouldn't have known she was in that. She'd have been dead. because she was already pretty far gone. It took several days for her to get over that. Let's see. Scott Roberts, can you lower the level of the water in the pond to where the moss is? Yeah, I don't think that'd work. It just seems to be, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't think that'll work. I seriously, if I could think of something that I even begin to think would work, I'd already be doing it. But if the only possible solution, I mean, like doing it by hand, that's not going to get it done. It's just not. If we had some kind of a machine that we could hook up something big and really rake it fast and hard, but I don't know what that would be. I mean, like if I had a really huge backhoe, I mean, like a really big one that really could reach way out there and put some kind of a rake on that and just rake it like crazy and get it out of there, at least we could get enough out to make a difference. But by hand, you can't catch up with it. You'll wear out way before you get to where you need to be by hand. I figured that out in my 1 hour of solid pulling. It didn't make any difference after a solid hour. Let's see. Moving on down. Scott Roberts, 5-ply on the tread and 1-ply on the sidewall is 6 plies where I went to school. Not 9 plus 5 plus. Yeah, I mean, 5 plies on the tread is a 5-ply tire. It's not, even though it says 14 PR. They rate it much higher than I do. That's all I can say about that. Eddie D, hi Jerry and friends. Never mind all the plies. The best thing is solid rubber tires or flat free tires. Might not give the best ride. Yeah, that would be wonderful if you could get something like that on a big trailer like that, but you can't. Dottie Hildebrandt, do you think the tire place just gave her bad tires hoping she... No, in fact, I'm seriously telling you, these salespeople, they don't know nothing. Here's what I'd bet you. I bet you $50 to a donut that those salespeople at those places couldn't even change a tire themselves. I'd bet on it. I bet they wouldn't have the first idea about how to do it. And certainly not break one down like I do in the shop here. There's no way. They couldn't do it. But to them, it says 14 ply. That's what it is. It's 14 ply. They don't know nothing. They're ignorant of the fact. I don't think they're overselling or underselling. They're just pointing out, this is our best. This is 14 ply. This is what all the guys use on the big. That's what they told her. And I got to admit, they look like they're pretty good tires. They look like it. Will they last? I doubt it. That's what I think. It's pitiful. Scott Roberts, your rant got the count up to 141 watching at one point. Keep it up. Tires and Bob are paying the bills. That and giving Jerry a big thumbs up. Yeah, if you would, that'd help. And then Bo says, you could run JR's hay baler to clean the pond. Yeah, it needs something industrial at this point. Seriously, there's no way to do it by hand. Just none. I'm convinced you cannot do it by hand. Unless, if you're some superstar athlete that could go for 10 or 12 hours, you could do it by hand. Or if we had maybe 100 people here raking it out by hand, maybe. But it'd take 100 people. I'm not kidding you. I've never seen anything like this stuff. I truly have never seen anything to compare to it. It's not like your normal moss at all. It's an invasive something or other, and they have a name for it. I forgot what she called it now, but and like I said, the people that she talked to, the experts, said you need to rake it out of there before you kill it. How do you do that? I don't get it. Anybody to make a hay rake work on that? Not that I can think of. chemical spray for the pond. Yeah, well, that's the point. We can spray it. We do have a chemical that's supposed to kill it. But what's it going to do to the fish? That's what she's afraid of. She hates to spray it right now. No, not fine enough teeth. Yeah, that's the problem with it. The hay rake just wouldn't have enough. And plus, I don't know how a hay rake's a big outfit, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, and I can't think of any way you get it out there. Seriously, the only thing that I can conceive of that would work would be a huge excavator that has like a 25 or 30 foot reach where you could reach way out there and rake it in, and you'd have to work your butt off with that. You'd really have to be on your game to get all that stuff out of there. It just doesn't come out like you think it would. It's not like you think, trust me, because I went down there with expectations that I could do this. I couldn't. BH Ringer, most fire departments are equipped to drag bodies out of water. Perhaps they practice with your invasive species in your pond. Yeah. Scott Roberts, long cable or rope drag line. How about the cold weather coming, wintertime? Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering how what effect that'll have on it. I don't know. I truly just am at a loss right now. I don't know what to do about it. Guys, I'm going to let that be it. I guess I better get out there and get those tires, those wonderful 14 ply rated tires put on that trailer. I'll see you tomorrow with something else. Thanks.